What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And if you are a Dallas Cowboys fan, let me tell you something right now. You are going to want to sit down for this one, because this is absolutely massive news that has just come out of Dallas, Texas, and it is shaking the entire NFL world right now. We are talking about a blockbuster deal that nobody saw coming. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. Not the analysts, not the insiders, not even some of the people within the organization expected this to happen so fast. But here we are, and it is official. Quandre Diggs is now a Dallas Cowboy. And this is the kind of move that changes everything for this franchise. So if you are excited about this news, smash that like button. Right now, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on those notifications because we are covering everything. Cowboys 24/7, and you do not want to miss a single update, especially when deals like this are going down. Now let me break this whole thing down for you from start to finish, because there is so much to unpack here, and I want to make sure you understand the full picture of what this means for the Dallas Cowboys going forward. Quandre Diggs is a name that should be very familiar to anyone who follows the NFL closely. This man has been one of the most consistent and reliable safeties in the entire league for years. And the fact that he is now wearing a star on his helmet is something that should have every single Cowboys fan jumping out of their seat with excitement. Because this is exactly the kind of player that Dallas has been missing on the back end of their defense for a very long time. And I know a lot of you have been calling for this. I know a lot of you have been saying that the Cowboys need to upgrade their secondary. And guess what? The front office listened, and they went out and made it happen. Let me give you some background on Quandre Diggs for those of you who might not be as familiar with his career, because this man has put together an incredible resume in the NFL. Quandre Diggs was originally drafted by the Detroit Lions back in 2015 out of the University of Texas, and yes, you heard that, right? The University of Texas, which means this man already has deep roots in the state of Texas. And now he gets to come back home and play for the most iconic franchise in the state, the Dallas Cowboys. You cannot script this any better than this. It is like a movie, and I am here for every single second of it. Diggs played with the Lions for several seasons before being traded to the Seattle Seahawks, where he truly blossomed into one of the premier safeties in the NFL. And when I say he blossomed, I mean he became an absolute ball hawk and a game changer on the defensive side of the ball. During his time with the Seattle Seahawks, Quandre Diggs made multiple Pro Bowl appearances, and he was consistently one of the best free safeties in the entire league. Year after year, he was putting up impressive numbers in terms of interceptions, pass, breakups, tackles, and just overall defensive impact. The man has an incredible nose for the football, and his ability to read quarterbacks and anticipate throws is something that you simply cannot teach. That is a God-given talent combined with years of hard work and film study, and now the Dallas Cowboys get to benefit from all of that experience and all of that talent, and I cannot stress enough how much of an upgrade this is for the Cowboys defense. Now let me talk about why this deal is being called historic and why it is generating so much buzz across the NFL landscape. Because this is not just your typical free agent signing or your run-of-the-mill trade. This is a move that signals a major shift in the Dallas Cowboys' approach to building their roster for years. And I mean years. Cowboys fans have been frustrated with the front office for not being aggressive enough in making moves to improve the team. We have watched other teams go out and make splashy trades and sign big-name free agents, while the Cowboys seemed content to just sit back and hope that the draft would solve all of their problems. Well, not anymore. This deal shows that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office are serious about winning right now, and they are willing to make the bold moves necessary to put this team in a position to compete for a Super Bowl. The details of this trade are absolutely fascinating. And when you look at what both sides are getting out of this deal, you can see why it is being called a win for the Cowboys. The structure of this agreement shows that Dallas was very strategic in how they approached this negotiation, and they managed to bring in a top-tier safety without completely mortgaging their future, which is something that a lot of teams struggle to do when they are trying to make a big splash move. Like this, the Cowboys front office deserves a lot of credit for how they handled this situation, because it was not easy. There were reportedly multiple teams that were interested in acquiring Quandre Diggs, and the competition for his services was fierce, but at the end of the day, Dallas was able to get the deal done and bring him to town. Now let me talk about what Quandre Diggs brings to the Cowboys defense from a schematic standpoint, because this is where things get really exciting. If you are a football nerd like me, the Cowboys defense under coordinator Mike Zimmer has been looking for a certain type of safety to anchor the back end of their secondary, and Quandre Diggs fits that mold perfectly. He is a versatile player who can play both free safety and strong safety. He can line up in the box and defend the run. He can drop back into deep coverage and take away the deep ball. He can cover tight ends and running backs in man-to-man coverage, and he can blitz off the edge when called upon. This kind of versatility is exactly what modern NFL defenses need, and the fact that the Cowboys now have a player like this at their disposal is going to open up so many possibilities for the coaching staff when it comes to game planning. One of the things that I love most about Quandre Diggs is his leadership and his mentality. This is a player who has been through it all in the NFL. He has played on struggling teams, and he has played on competitive teams. He has dealt with injuries, and he has bounced back stronger every single time. He has that warrior mentality that every championship team needs, and when you add a player like that to a locker room, it changes the entire culture of the team. The young players on the Cowboys defense are going to benefit tremendously from having Quandre Diggs in the building every single day, because he is the kind of veteran who leads by example and who is willing to mentor the younger guys and help them reach their full potential. Speaking of the young players on the Cowboys defense, let me talk about how Quandre Diggs is going to complement the existing talent on this roster, because the Cowboys already have some very good pieces on defense, and adding Diggs to the mix is like putting the final piece of a puzzle into place. You look at the defensive line with Micah Parsons, who is arguably the best defensive player in the entire NFL right now, and you add in the other talented players they have up front and on the edge. And now you put Quandre Diggs on the back end to clean everything up, and you have a defense that can legitimately be one of the best in the NFL. This is not an exaggeration. This is the reality of the situation, and opposing quarterbacks should be very, very nervous about facing this Cowboys defense next season. Let me also address the elephant in the room, which is the injury that Quandre Diggs suffered. I know a lot of people are going to bring this up, and it is a legitimate concern. Diggs did suffer a significant leg injury that kept him out of action, and there were questions about whether he would be able to return to his previous level of play. But from everything that we are hearing, the reports are extremely encouraging. Diggs has been working incredibly hard in his rehabilitation, and he is reportedly looking like his old self. Again, the medical staff has given him a clean bill of health, and he is ready to go. This is a player who is motivated to prove the doubters wrong. And if there is one thing that I have learned about Quandre Diggs throughout his career, it is that you should never bet against this man, because he always finds a way to come back stronger. Now I want to talk about the fan reaction to this deal, because it has been absolutely incredible. The Cowboys fan base, which is already one of the most passionate and dedicated fan bases in all of professional sports, has absolutely erupted with excitement over this signing. Social media has been blowing up with Cowboys fans celebrating this move, and rightfully so, because this is the kind of aggressive roster building that the fan base has been demanding for years. I have been reading through the comments and the tweets and the posts, and the overwhelming sentiment is one of pure joy and excitement. Cowboys fans feel like the front office is finally listening to them and is finally making the moves necessary to compete at the highest level. But it is not just Cowboys fans who are taking notice of this deal. Analysts and insiders from around the NFL have been weighing in on this trade. And the consensus is that this is a brilliant move by the Dallas Cowboys. Multiple NFL analysts have come out and said that this deal makes the Cowboys a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And when you hear that kind of praise from people who cover the league for a living, you know that this is a significant move that is going to have a major impact on the upcoming season. The Cowboys are being taken seriously as a championship contender, and a lot of that has to do with moves like this one. Let me also talk about what this means for the NFC East, because this division just got a whole lot more interesting with the Cowboys adding Quandre Diggs to their roster. The NFC East is already one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL, and this move by Dallas is going to send shockwaves throughout the division. The Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Washington Commanders are all going to have to take notice of this deal and adjust their plans accordingly, because the Cowboys just got significantly better and they are coming for that division title. This is the kind of move that can shift the balance of power in a division, and I fully expect the Cowboys to be the favorites in the NFC East heading into next season. Now let me address something that I think is really important, and that is the timing of this deal, because the timing tells you a lot about the Cowboys' intentions and their mindset heading into the upcoming season. This deal was not made on a whim. This was a calculated strategic move that the Cowboys front office had been planning for some time. They identified the safety position as a need. They identified Quandre Diggs as the player they wanted to fill that need, and they went out and made it happen. That kind of decisive action is exactly what championship organizations do. They do not wait around and hope that things fall into their lap. They go out and make things happen. And that is exactly what the Cowboys did with this deal. I also want to talk about the financial aspects of this deal, because I know a lot of fans are curious about how this is going to affect the Cowboys' salary cap situation. And the good news is that this deal was structured in a way that is very cap-friendly for the Cowboys. The front office did an excellent job of managing the financial aspects of this trade, and they were able to bring in a top-tier player without putting themselves in a difficult cap situation going forward. This is important because it means that the Cowboys still have the flexibility to make additional moves if they see an opportunity to improve the roster further. And that should have every Cowboys fan excited, because it shows that the front office is thinking about both the short term and the long term. Let me paint a picture for you of what the Cowboys defense is going to look like with Quandre Diggs in the lineup, because I think it is important to visualize just how dominant this defense can be. Imagine Micah Parsons rushing off the edge, putting pressure on the quarterback. And just as the quarterback is about to release the ball under duress, Quandre Diggs is sitting back there reading the play and picking off the pass. That is the kind of game-changing play that wins football games. And that is exactly the kind of play that the Cowboys are going to be able to make with Diggs patrolling the secondary. The combination of a ferocious pass rush and a ball-hawking secondary is the recipe for a championship defense, and the Cowboys now have both of those elements in place. I also want to give a shout-out to Quandre Diggs himself, because this is a player who has earned everything that he has gotten in his career. He was not a first-round pick. He was not handed anything on a silver platter. He had to work his way up and prove himself at every level. And he did exactly that through hard work, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to his craft. Diggs has established himself as one of the best safeties in the NFL. And now he gets to write the next chapter of his career with the Dallas Cowboys. And what a chapter it is going to be. I fully expect Diggs to thrive in Dallas, because he is going to be surrounded by talented players, and he is going to be playing in a defensive scheme that maximizes his strengths. Before I wrap up this video, I want to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think about this Quandre Diggs deal? Are you as excited as I am? Do you think this makes the Cowboys a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I love reading what you guys have to say, and I always try to respond to as many comments as I can. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you found it informative, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. and it helps more Cowboys fans find our content. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We are putting out Cowboys content every single day, and you do not want to miss any of it. This Quandre Diggs deal is just the beginning, folks. The Cowboys are building something special, and I truly believe that we are going to look back on this trade as one of the defining moments of this era of Cowboys football. The front office made a bold move. They went out and got their guy, and now it is time to see what this team can do on the field. I have never been more excited about the future of the Dallas Cowboys, and I hope you feel the same way. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for all the love and support that you show this channel every single day. It means the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay blessed, stay positive, and as always, go Cowboys.